Hi guys, happy Tuesday.
Looks like one of those expose things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
It
Oh
looks
my
like,
god.
looks like a Channel 7 ambush.
It does. How's it going, you guys? Some of you guys would have seen in part one, we were setting up automation for Storm and our business together. But we realized we had a bunch of questions that we thought you might find, you probably are asking as well. So we asked them, shall we record it? I'm sure someone's going to get value out of it. And they said yes, so now we're here.
Hector?
So today we're going to look at the numbers of why you actually start to automate and systemize your business. It's all very well to say, we need to put systems in place. Why are you actually doing it? Because it's a bit of extra work at the outset, but you guys are going to see some pretty amazing results, because based on the 15 years that I've been helping businesses, coaching businesses, I've seen the changes that systems make to businesses. And if you guys and you out there can get your head around why you spend the extra time to start to systemize stuff, you're going to see massive productivity and profitability increases.
Because honestly,
that's why you do it.
How many people systems aren't sexy? Do you know what I mean?
For
it's
me,
not appealing.
and can I be honest, for me, I just saw it as extra work that I don't see why I'm doing it. Like, what's the point of this whole exercise? Because I can literally write a to-do list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess that was my mindset, thinking like a small business, like I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I can operate off paper and pen for the rest of my life. But
You can stay small if that's your choice. That's easy.
Yeah.
Just keep using your to-do list. You'll stay small, and you'll make a living,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And so many people do that though.
They do.
I mean, the thing is, it doesn't even occur to me. It doesn't occur to me that I'm in the stage to systemize.
Yes.
That's the problem. So now we're doing it, and here I am writing the manual to go into RTMS, and I'm like, oh my god, this is taking so much time.
Why am I doing
Why
it?
am I doing this?
Is this costing me money?
Yes,
Sitting
because
here?
obviously, now I go, my time is money. So if we operate off consultations and we do this, then that time that I take out to consult is time that I'm writing and no one's paying me. So,
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't see the benefit in systemizing. The serious truth is, the difference between a small business and a big business is about 10% extra work. Okay?
Again.
About the difference between a small business and a big business is about 10% extra work. So if you were working 40 hours a week
Yes.
on your business,
Yeah.
and you spent 4 hours a week on systems,
Yeah.
your business would roughly triple in 1 to 2 years.
How?
Okay, simple.
Okay.
If, let's say, we've got this theoretical business, okay? These guys are, we'll make some assumptions here. These guys are working 40 hours a week each,
Yeah.
and they've got some staff working in their business, so you've got a couple of people who do your admin and that sort of thing. Let's say you pay them an average of $25 an hour.
Yes.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So 25 by 40, you're paying each of your staff $1,000 a week.
Right.
Okay? If you can cut out
Yes.
in all of the areas that they're working in your business, 1 hour on each of your business units per week, you get an extra 7 hours of productive time. Now, you pay them $25 an hour, but you bill their time out effectively at $70 an hour. So if you've got 7 hours by $70, that's $490 a week.
Okay.
Okay, think about that. $490 a week in extra billable time by cutting back using systems on how many hours they spend at the coalface doing the day-to-day tasks. So you get more productive time back.
So
You've increased your efficiencies.
So basically, it's like that investment of time to set it up at the start, which always is going to be time.
Yes.
And then if you have other people that are meant to be doing it, one, it's not you doing that task.
That's
it's
right.
delegatable.
Yep.
And then if someone else is actually doing that, then you have time. Say, for example, you get paid for consulting, but you're doing all your admin.
Yes.
Is this right?
Yeah.
And
Which is
then,
crazy.
Yeah.
Because there are people who do it better than you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you might spend 5 hours a week doing your admin. So, you might be able to do 2 consults in that time.
Yes.
And then maybe it takes you 5 hours to set up the system.
Yes.
But then for the rest of the week, year, whatever, you can delegate that whole thing to somebody else, and then you could actually
So you create a system to allow you to delegate stuff to other people.
Okay.
You pay them less than you bill their time out
got
for.
it.
Yes.
And then you start to multiply your time.
So if it's like $200 for a consult, and then you pay someone $25, then obviously that $25 is gone.
And you got $175 profit.
Yeah, okay.
And then you take an extra consult where you were meant to do admin.
If you fail to systemize, then you're doing the consult yourself.
Yeah.
So the time that you could be going and teaching someone else to do a consult, you're stuck in doing it yourself. So you're making $200. You've still got your same costs, your same expenses in your business, which might be, I don't know, say they're $500 a week in expenses. You've still got to cover all of those, and you can't duplicate your time. If you create a system and teach other people how to do it, you can duplicate your time.
Okay.
That's the first benefit of systemization. The next one, that $490 a week in extra billable time we've created, that's $2,000 a month. That's $35,000 a year, because it's $500 a week, $25,000 a year. It's $5,000. Sorry, $500 a week, 52 weeks. So it's around $25,000.
People don't really think like this though.
You know what comes up for me?
I do.
Yeah, well, what comes up for me is like, all right, I'm getting it. I'm going to save money. I'm going to make money. But now I'm starting to think, how much time, me as a small business owner, do I spend now writing my manual? Like, how much time can I expect to do that to set me forward by one step or two steps?
Okay, ask yourself this question. How much time do you spend researching buying a new car? Would you spend 6 or 8 hours? Maybe 10 hours? Trying out models, test driving, trying to work out which colour you want it, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
How much, or do you just go, I'll have that one, doesn't matter what colour it is?
I know what you mean. I guess what he's saying is like, you actually invest time into things that you think will get you something that matter to you.
Right.
And if you don't have an emotional investment in this, you won't do it.
Yeah.
So here's why you have an emotional investment. It's worth a lot of money.
You know why I asked this question? Again, mindset. Small business owner mindset, and then just going, all right, well, I get it, but actually here's a person willing to book a consult right now, and I have to proactively decide to say no so that I can write a manual, and then I've got to proactively say no. How many no's do I give to get a yes?
But do you remember what we talked about last night? Christine and I had this conversation about upper limits. So we were talking about like, would you say no to a consult that's once off, that would say like $1,000 in pursuit of a client that would be a long-term retainer client? I was like, no, why would you? That's quick money, it takes, you know. But then, and Kristine was saying, but what life do you want? Do you want like a lifestyle, a long-term life? Do you want to be hustling? And I guess it's the same thing, right? If you say, yes, you can take this, and you sacrifice your systems to be able to do it, then it's always like, when's the next thing, instead of, if I could do this once, which might be painful and take some time, could I then save that time in other places and actually pursue the things that I love?
Yes.
Well, the easy answer to that question about the one-off consult versus the regular client is you've sold them once and they buy again and again and again and again. Whereas with the one-off consult, you've sold them once, then you move on to the next one and you sell them once, and you spend half an hour every time doing the sales pitch when you only have to do it once, and you can have the same customer every month for 12 months.
Yeah, and that's like systems, right?
Think about it.
You
That's
set it up
systems.
once, and you can have the same thing ongoing again and again and again and again, and then it just evolves as your business evolves.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think, too, like you're talking about why do it, and it's an experienced business owner, when you've reached burnout, you've got a good reason to do it because you've experienced the emotion of, you know, hitting that limit where you can't do anymore and seeing things sort of, you know, come to a grinding halt, and a lot of time and effort goes into that, and that emotionally scars you. So you want to sort of not have that happen all the time.
There's a lot of thinking happens when you're crying to yourself in a corner.
There is. and if you don't set them up, it does happen very quickly. Like if you've got a good product and you're diligent about what you do, you're going to get customers fast, and you know that. And you'll hit that wall really, really quick. And I think most people think it's hard, you know, setting these systems up hard. It's actually not hard. It is a mindset thing.
Yes.
And it can be done simply.
Right.
There are simple systems, but it does take a little bit of time, and I'm not talking ridiculous hours. You know, it might be just a few hours to get your head around the basics. Once you've got your head around it, then it's a breeze. Like I know when we're delegating tasks in our project management stuff, people look at it, oh, this is going to take so much time. So no, a lot of things are just one-liners.
Like, can you put it into context for us? Tell me a story about you experiencing what this so-called burnout
Or
is,
what the pain
what that
point
looks
is,
like
or-
in your life? What did your family experience?
One of the most common ones is when you're dealing with, or when I was dealing with doing sales, the sales process.
Yeah.
And you go out and you draw on a lot of customers, and
Yeah.
bang, you've got like 20 quotes that you have to get out.
Yeah.
Okay? Which is just probably your first one you're going to hit.
Yeah.
So then straight away you get out your first quote that you did and you modify it. You do
Every
that.
time.
Now you start modifying each one and each one. Then you get people come back and they want a little bit changed. So you've got to go back and find that quote and make sure you've got some sort of ordering, some sort of system there. Then you realise you've got to actually name them. So you can find them again. Having quote 1, quote 2, quote 3 doesn't help.
Yes.
So I found I had to then set up systems to be able to track it because there's a whole volume of just quotes coming in. Then you start winning the work, and then that's when it really hits the fan. You have multiple clients that you're looking after all at the same time. You have to keep either in your head or in some sort of system what their requirements are, how they want the job done, just those little nuances. Even just their name and phone numbers. Like you go to say, okay, can we send this quote back out to so-and-so, and you might have someone working by then. You go, what's their phone number? I don't know, it's in the emails, go and find it. They search through it and they send
3
it to
minutes wasted.
They
Do that 100 times a week.
and it happens, and this is where most businesses go wrong. They don't have even just a basic contact list set up. They don't track their quotes, they don't track the sales, they don't track the actual projects themselves, and that's just the front end stuff. Then you go to the administration, like your accounting. Oh, okay, and that's one I still outsource.
But it's so true because we're doing this from the beginning.
Yes.
And honestly, it sucks.
Yes.
Like Kristine will tell you, it's the worst thing because we have to go back and forth. Like, what's a naming convention? Where does this live? She hassles me all the time. Like, Storm, where does that live? Where is it going?
Yeah.
What's it for? And for me, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, this is so frustrating.
You're the Nazi.
Honestly, like Storm and I will be in the midst of something, like brainstorming all of this and that, and then I realise the pain when you have freaking 5 documents at the end with different names and they're sitting around.
Which
you
version?
think that we had this problem, the version, because we updated the name, whatever version.
Yeah.
So if we're converting and we're literally saying that every mistake that we don't record in a systemized way is actually costing us money because we're going back and forth going with this
This is what happens. You then get this massive influx of work. You've got all this stuff happening. You've got lots of money starting to build up.
Yeah.
Can you deliver the service effectively like you did with the first few customers? No, you can't. You know why?
Why?
Because you're struggling just to keep a track of even where your documents are.
You know what? I'm doing this right now. So I've never been busier in my personal business before Kristine and I decided that we're going to partner up. And I have like a whole list of things that I have to get through, which because I was a freelancer and then, sole trader, small business, I didn't even really think that it was that hard. But now that we're doing this over here, and I had all of this over here, I'm like, where is everything? How do I contact? Like, I have to send the same email 20 times. So realistically, had I had a structure that would have solved that, I could have done that in like 2 or 3 days, honestly, and then I would have just focused on this. So after this, we have to do up proposals, pitches, and all this time has been just pain. Like,
But
This is where you get up to the next stage. You develop your little processes, you've got your little list going. Now what happens is that you've got to maintain it. Okay, so things will shift in your business, life will shift, things will happen. Those little processes, they'll get forgot. It'll get quiet.
like
You'll
what?
forget them.
Like what's a small process that'll get forgotten?
Small process, like following up, make sure your customers are happy with,
Follow up.
yeah.
where things are. No, things have gotten a little bit quiet. You may be chasing some new work. The follow up, you put it aside, and then you forget about it.
Or you focus up here, shining.
What actually happens, Paul, and this is seriously what happens, is you start here with all of these clients, and you service these clients, and while you're doing that, you're not doing your marketing, and you've still got these clients. And you do your marketing, and you forget to do your marketing, and you've got all these clients, and you forget to do your marketing. Eventually, you hit the ground because you've done no marketing. You've been too busy trying to fulfill the orders.
How many people come to us?
Fantastic idea. You get to the end of it, and you go, "My business has failed." What happens? You forgot to do your marketing. Why? Because you didn't have a system to remind you to do the things that created the work for the next lot of work you have to do.
Right.
And you sometimes forget too, like when you're setting up in your business and you've got your processes, the way you do things, which is very personal to you and might be the reason why you're getting the customers that you get. As you get busier, those little nuances fall off and you get very, very
Become
vague.
mediocre again.
You
Yes.
become mediocre and you miss those little bits. And those are the things that you need to document and need to record because that's what you teach the other people to do the way you do.
make
it.
sure
That's the
someone
sales
comes
script.
through.
I want to know. I'm going to give you figures of our own business, and you tell me, can you calculate how much money we're possibly missing out on if we don't systemize immediately?
I can try.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
There's a weird exercise. I've never done this before, but it sounds like you've got a down-packed something.
I'll give you ballpark figures.
Ballpark figure, yeah.
Sure.
All right, so a consult for us is $200 to $250 an hour.
Yes.
Right? A client is worth a minimum of $2,000 a month, and they're signing on for a minimum of 6 months. So that's $12,000.
And then setup is what? Is $5,000.
Yeah, setup is $5,000. So right now, so what information do you need from me on top of that
So
to come up with
you've
figures?
you've charged them an hour's time to set this up, or is there more than an hour involved in that 12,000?
Actually, no, our $5,000 setup is like what? That's heaps of time, actually.
Because all the
How many hours is involved in that?
Heaps
Okay,
of
well,
hours.
we always do research before.
Yeah.
So we research, like we'll do that. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or that we did over Messenger.
Yeah.
So it took us. I know it took me 12 minutes to pitch, an hour to research.
Yeah.
An hour to consult. This is before we have any money.
Yeah.
An hour to consult. How long? An hour for email.
By the way, when Storm says an hour to consult, that's both of us. So that's actually 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
And then what did we do last night with the outline? That was an hour.
Yeah.
So what's that?
5.5 hours.
There you go. And we actually haven't got paid anything for
Yeah,
that
we have.
yet.
Yeah, so that's just
Okay.
to win the job.
So you're saying it's 5.5 hours
Yes.
before you get that $5,000 over the line.
Yes.
How much work is involved in earning that $2,000 per month? How many hours?
Oh, it's heaps of hours. Like
Or
we.
in the retainer.
Yeah. No, in the retainer it's easy.
Yeah.
That's we just
Okay,
like,
how many hours a month do you need to spend,
for me? Like,
research and contact time and work time,
Contact
to earn that
time,
$2,000 every
then
month?
consult. Every month would be, it'd be a day. We've worked it out to be what, a day per client?
yeah, it's a day per client for research and development and
Per month.
In
Oh.
the retainer.
in the retainer it's about 2 days.
There you go.
2 days a month for $2,000 a month. It's for us to like head down
If we
and do
sit down and go,
get it
it's
ourselves.
2 days.
It's 2 days.
So we're at around 16 hours so far. 21 hours.
Yeah.
So 21 hours per client per month.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you could automate 10% of that. So you've got
Okay.
an income. You've got an income of around $2,800 per month if you add in that $5,000 setup fee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
taken over your 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say you could automate 10% of that.
Yeah.
So that's $280, or $280 of that becomes automated.
Okay.
Your 21 hours
Oh.
becomes 19 hours. You can create a new client every 6 months out
Yeah.
of that. One new client can be serviced. So that new client is worth $17,000 every 6 months.
Yeah.
So by automating the process,
Yep.
you can turn 20 clients into 21 clients, 22 clients straight off the top of your head because you've taken 10% of your time
Yeah.
spent and automated it.
Do you know what? Because we actually
So
have.
it's worth an extra
Putting more people.
$34,000 every 6 months to you.
One thing I'm not getting is with the amount of work that we're currently putting into onboarding new clients.
He's right though, because think about, we've discussed an automated onboarding sequence.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we could do that with videos, with content, things
How
like
many
that.
hours would that take out of your 21-hour setup?
It would literally, we could get everything, we'd still have research, but then it would just be, we'd have no consult or anything in between then. All we'd have to do is one
Oh, you know
pitch.
what's crazy though?
What?
No, I didn't account for something. 21 hours for the automated stuff, but there's some extra good stuff that we give, which is like when we reach out to influencers, that's a process that I do. I do a research for an influencer, and then we get in touch with them. Then
So
we
this
do
is a value
this.
add.
Yeah, this is a value add. That's part of the $2,000, $2,000 a month. So that's an extra, I don't know, like maybe 6 hours work.
Right.
So that
So
those
it's
kind
28
of
hours?
yeah.
Or 27 hours.
So it's like reducing in value.
So your hourly rate goes from, if you're getting $21,000 and you're spending 21 hours, $17,000, you're spending 21 hours in it,
Yeah.
then every hour that you spend derives you an income of around $800. But if you take that out to $28, your income drops to $600 for every hour you spend. So you're decreasing the value of your time
Service and
by
time.
25%.
Yeah.
If I'm the one doing it.
By doing it yourself rather than handing it off to someone
Yeah.
else. What you
Okay.
need is that equation going the other way. You need to take that back from 21 to 16 hours
Yeah.
to get yourself an increase in productivity.
Remember we were
Okay.
talking about like, what would you ideally want to do? Okay, and I was like, I want to work 2 to 3 days a week, and that's it.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
luck with
because-
that.
Something though, because I said to the guys earlier, like I did their workshop, and I said to them, what I realized about what I do, the value is actually in my skill and knowledge. It's so highly specialized that I'm so used to working in an office where I get paid per hour that I couldn't believe
Me
that
too.
Most people are.
possibly
Yeah.
that my 1 hour isn't $30 an hour. It's like my 1 hour is actually $600 to $800 an hour. So why clients on board, because they can't do it
hourly
themselves.
rate is to do a process, a pre-ordered process,
Yes.
an hourly rate that you do, like a job, a labouring job, or a manual handling job.
That's to someone else's system.
Someone else's system. When
So
it's
I was
your-
one of the
You were one of the
I was
drones.
born.
You were one of the
Yeah.
worker ants.
One
Yeah.
of the work ants.
And I'm a small business now. I'm a business owner operating as
So
as
now
a
your value
as a
is
pawn.
your past experience. Yeah, your value is your past experience.
See, this is
and
what I
your
was telling you
ingenuity.
about.
Yes,
Because
today.
I was telling Storm what we need to do in our business. There's so much work that we just know how to do it. It's like
It's
high
automatic to
level,
us, yeah.
specialized knowledge, but we couldn't accept that we could possibly make this much money per client when it only really takes us 3 days of work a month.
And by saying that, I mean we finished last night at 2 o'clock in the
2 in the morning because we were doing a proposal. Like,
Okay. But that proposal is worth $17,000 to
Yeah,
you for the next 6
potentially.
months.
yeah, that's right.
So everyone says, oh, they're making $800 an hour out of me, well, they can cut their rates. No, it's like the guy who comes around and fixes your photocopier and charges you $100 to spend 5 minutes there. It's not that he spent 5 minutes
It's
and
the value
charged
of
you
what it
$100. It's knowing how to fix it. You guys have an expertise that your clients don't have.
Yes.
If they had the expertise, they'd be doing it themselves.
So for us, it's more like we really need to embrace that what we do is so specialized, and it's not a per hour job.
No, it's
Because
not.
what's happening
Well,
was
it's
I
your
was-
job to research how to make it more specialised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to grow our knowledge base and our expertise. Because I made a video about this morning, saying about how I keep like smashing up against upper limits. So every time I envision that this is happening, I go back and practice like I'm still down here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then I did a live on it in my group, and then someone said it sounds like you can't accept that you're an expert.
Yeah,
And
same
I was
here.
like, yeah, I would never use that word.
Or for me,
Yeah.
I have
Somebody's
this
got it.
feeling of guilt that if I show up somewhere on the internet in a time where I'm meant to have my head down working, because I'm thinking I'm getting paid per hour, right? But actually no,
you're
because
not.
my work was done because I was like up last night doing all the specialized work, which I got done in like 5 hours, right? And I'm like, I got you this, got you this, got you this. But my inner feeling is that I should
Christine,
be.
there's no point in you doing a live broadcast at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're all asleep. Do them in the hours when people are awake, okay?
But it's
Yeah.
right? So I'm just saying that, yeah, I was doing the work, but then when I show up in the daytime on live, I'm like, oh, what if they see me on live and they're thinking they're paying me $2,000 a month to get their socials really good, to get them visibility, but I actually tick the boxes. I actually get them visible and I deliver.
Yeah.
And so, but I still feel guilty about taking that rate because I'm like, because really, if I get 10
Don't
clients,
feel guilty about it. You charge them $2,000 a month. How much value do they derive from that $2,000?
yeah, heaps. I forget
Is it
about
10,000?
that, and I even tell these to clients. I was
So
like,
they can
what's the
multiply every
life
dollar
cycle?
they spend by 5.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you know we've even done the analysis.
Value. We need to talk about the last part of
We
it.
need to talk about this.
Okay.
That's
Here's-
where it's leading.
What?
Here's the thing,
Okay.
okay? What I said earlier was if you can save 1 hour
Yeah.
in each of your business tasks every week, that's an extra $490 that you've saved each week, okay? So that's $47,000 a year. That's by the by. But you can bill those 7 hours at your charge out rate. That's $124,000 a year on top of the 47. So you're
Can I
now up
ask-
by $173,000 a year.
Can I
okay?
ask what you meant about you can bill it? Did you mean because if you save your time, the value of it remains the same,
Okay.
but you are physically not doing the work, so that's why you save twice? I'm a bit confused.
Okay, because you're paying someone else to do something according to a system, $25 an hour,
Yeah.
you can then go and do your $70 an hour work, or in your case, your $800 an hour work,
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're not doing the stuff that can be systemized.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you become more productive. So that's a productivity gain.
Yeah.
And in this example that we've got here, $70 an hour 1 hour a week in each of your 7 major areas of your business, in each of the 7 major areas of business, calculates to 7 hours extra per day, which is about 170,000 in saving and productivity. Why would you do that though? Because of the extra work. Okay, here's the secret. I used to be a business broker. I used to sell people's businesses on their behalf. Here's what happens. When you go to sell your business, it's worth 3 things. It's worth stock on hand. So let's say you have $100,000 worth of stock. You can sell the stock for $100,000. Plant and equipment, so fridges, whatever, motor vehicles, whatever your tools are, $100,000. And if you've got no systems, 2 times the last 2 years average profit. So if your average profit is $40,000 a year, you can sell it for $80,000 in profits.
Right.
If you've got systems and your profit's only $40,000 a year, you get 3 times. But if you've got systems and you can make profits of $200,000, 3 times 200 plus 100 plus 100, $800,000. So the value of your business jumps from $240,000 to $800,000 because you've systemized what you're doing and you can improve your profitability.
Right.
If you don't understand that,
then you're stunted. You're stunted.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it. Do you have any? Yes.
Can I, something that like, when we're talking about, your time is worth.
Yes.
Realistically, does it have anything to do with what you charge? It's more about what is your actual time worth? Because what we've been talking about is like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, this is an interesting one.
Philosophical discussion here.
This is an interesting one. What is it worth?
What?
What is it worth to the customer?
Yeah, because we forget
what you're
about that
doing,
all the
what
time.
are they willing to pay to achieve the results that you're going to give them?
True. You
Now,
don't know what that is.
I've seen so many people develop products, and actually my cousin done this. He came up with a product that was 10 times cheaper than everybody else, and he was selling it at 10 times cheaper. Yeah, the product closest to his was selling at $100,000. He could have sold his at $99,000 and saved the person that he's selling it to $1,000. But he sold it for 10 and gave away the rest for nothing.
You know,
Market.
you know where
market.
meet the market. Well, I gotta say, some of my mindset is like this. I know we're more expensive than other people. Like I look at, okay, put this in
Cheaper than other people too.
But yeah, but I didn't even think about that. But for example, I always used to look at people who just manage Instagram. You know how much people who charge Instagram management only? Like no influencer marketing, no nothing. They're literally Instagram only. They're gonna put pictures up, nice captions. It's specialized. Like they will charge, I don't know, between $600 to $800 a month. And there's no community manager. Oh, hang on, wait. There's no community management, and by that I mean like if they get queries, it's not that person's job to reply, it's the business owner's job to reply.
Yeah.
So they make maybe $600, $800 a client per month. In the meantime, okay, we're not more expensive. We're actually freaking cheaper. I just realized in my brain now we're cheaper because we're multi-platform. Not just by that I mean we're not just Instagram. We're Instagram, Facebook, marketing strategy, which is where our goal is. We're both somewhat influencers in the online space, so there's value there. So I just discovered something.
Difference between a witch doctor and a real doctor.
Yeah, I just discovered something now. Because the whole time I was going, we're more expensive than other people. Can we deliver? Can we deliver?
We hit the same thing. We're like, Heck and I are both experienced in business. Heck has got massive experience in different industries in business. Massive experience in the online e-commerce systems and systems development. Yet we come up and we do a proposal and they go, oh, it's a website. Why is it so much more? I said, well, because we don't just do a design. We actually implement your business processes into your system.
We had this very discussion with a client right at this table 3 hours ago. This is our 3rd meeting today, by the way. The same discussion. What we'll give you is a core that you can fit your business around and bolt your systems onto that will manage your systems for you, as opposed to here's a pretty picture, here's a pretty website. Off you go and do your thing, and it does nothing except look pretty.
So systemizing your business lets you take what you're really, really good at and do it really, really well, and everything else gets done by the people who can do it really, really well. It increases efficiency for everything, so everyone makes more money and does their jobs really, really well, instead of everyone doing it really crap.
Well, you manage 10 times as much work.
Oh man, this is about our conversation last night.
You can manage 10 times as much work because you're not doing it yourself.
because okay, another issue that we came up with, we're very passionate, creative people. That when we feel no, but when we feel like we're not actually working hard, being creative, then we're not actually busy, then we're not doing our job, and then once again we're not worth the money. Right, so because I was telling Storm, so much of what we do is automated. That, like, I already have a VA, and she's a gun at what she does. But then I said, Storm, because before I only used to charge $1,000 a month, because that was just me. But then I met Storm, and I'm like, every time Storm writes, she goes viral. And I was like, man, like, I'm not joking. So anyway, I said to Storm, would you be willing to do copy for our clients? You do 15 to 20 Twitter posts, 15 to 20 Facebook posts, like one-liners. We're going to curate stuff. And then I said to Storm, like, what does this look like to you? And I felt like no excitement, because I'm like, it's very automated. It's like a whatever. And she's used to writing in-depth, raw, vulnerable feelings. And this is literally write for another company, be funny in one line, like 160 characters. And then I was like, and then for that, every month you'll get $1,000. And you know, when you're talking what drives you money, is it just money? And Storm was like, she can do that. She can do that sitting down with her eyes closed.
I said it was boring.
Kristine, money is not a motivator. No.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
If you pay someone an extra $5,000 a year, it will motivate them for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And after 6 weeks, they'll feel entitled.
Yeah.
Money is not a motivator.
Yeah, but I knew that.
You have to sell
but
something else.
I said, when she said that, I was like, I can do it. We drove separate cars, came home, and then I said, that sounds boring to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel excited.
Yeah, but I was saying, like,
that.
from the business perspective, like, if you want to grow financially and grow the life that because what happens is when you're in your business, you actually love what you do. Yeah. You forget the end goal because you're currently living another goal. You know, your goal to love what you do on a daily basis, that's a goal. To have that opportunity to do that, that's actually, you're kicking goals every day.
Just saying that you're done now, but half an hour ago. I love this.
No, but it's like, right? So you're like, all right, I'm kicking goals every day. I love what I do, but then I am kind of underpaid. I am like driving myself into the ground because I love what I do so much. It's fully, it's like self-inflicted overworking, underpaid, right? But then I said to Storm, like, is there a possibility that you could take these retainer jobs, $1,000 a month, and then, because that will actually give you so much more time to do the other thing that drives your other goal, which is the freedom, which is the...
And I guess it comes back to what we're talking about. Like, literally what the conversation came down to was, what do I love doing? What can I get rid of or do quickly so I can do more of that?
Well, with business, seriously, the reason you go into business is so that you can sell the business as a going concern.
Oh, we forget about that.
Chunk of money.
We've never talked about an exit strategy.
What do you do with the big chunk of money when you sell it? You want the biggest chunk you can get at the end of it. What do you actually do with it? Do you spend it on lifestyle? Do you spend it on shoes and handbags? Do you spend it on a fast car? Or, seriously, do you use it to do the thing that you were trying to get in the first place? You go and buy 5 or 6 investment properties and live on the income from them so that you don't have to put in 60, 70, 80 hours a week in your own business
This is
going
like
forward.
well beyond.
But can I ask something?
Why are you doing it?
Yeah, because what do you guys know the answer then to this? Like, why don't businesses think of an exit strategy? Like, what goes on in there that people go into business and go,
too busy chopping down trees to stop and sharpen the axe. That's why they don't. They're working 70 hours a week trying to keep up with what the customers' requirements are. They're exhausted. They get home and they go, damn, it's 1:30, clomp, and their kids wake them up and put them to bed because they're self-employed and driving themselves into the grave. Why don't you have an exit strategy?
Okay.
Change.
No, because I think when you start doing what you love, it's like you don't even care about an exit strategy.
That lasts for a little while.
Yeah.
It does.
That'll last you 2
Exhaustion,
years.
your body will get exhausted, your mind will get exhausted, and if you haven't got something bigger than your work as an end goal,
I need
it
this.
dies
Oh
off.
man.
There's a really good reason. There's a really good reason why 70% of businesses fail in the first 3 years, and about 92% in 5 years. Is because you're not prepared to keep doing it over and over and over without an exit strategy.
Yeah. Well, Mel got you there. Mel says exit strategy. Question to you, Mel. When you first started your business, did you actually was exit strategy one of the first things on your mind? Can you share that with us? Because I want to know, am I alone in this?
I've never thought of it. You know, because
Did you guys have a
First
strategy?
few times, no, but now, yes.
Okay.
This is
So
set
we're
up.
all right then.
First time you walk into a fire trap, where's the exit? And a business is a fire trap if you get stuck in it. Not literally, figuratively, okay? How do I get out of here?
Yeah, right.
Does that mean that you can still? What if you want to have a business that's your legacy? It's still the same way you're not not in it, it just has to run.
You have to be able to
Legacy
get out
says
of it.
that there is an exit strategy because you intend to leave it as a legacy,
Yeah.
as your exit strategy.
Okay.
Well, think about it, right? Richard Branson, he doesn't operate in Virgin anymore, like, but he's still, that's another.
brand, yeah.
Doesn't he do everything at Virgin?
He doesn't need to have.
Isn't he like the steward and the?
That's like us in our business.
Oh, you mean he's got systems?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Right, okay. So now this is serious then, so we really do need to systemize even the stuff that we love. Are you trying to say that at some point, even at the early stage of your business, are you saying that I should take on the boring work because it's the boring work that I can systemize that will help me get out of it? And then, is it? I'm not trying to put
You're going
words
to do
in
the
work.
boring work somewhere along the line.
At the
Yeah.
beginning.
You're going to do it early or you're going to do it too late.
Most people spend more time planning their annual holiday than they do planning what their business is going to do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's
True.
what we're doing.
So are you saying, so just to confirm, I should just suck it up, do the boring work until I'm ready to outsource it,
Yep.
do it and see the money grow,
Yep.
and then start doing the things.
Do the boring work and work
Can
out
I
how you
balance
can do it
the
efficiently.
two?
Yes,
Can
you
I
can.
do the two? Can I
Absolutely.
do the things that I love and the things that I'm like, bleh?
You should only have to do the boring things once.
Yeah.
You should only do them once.
Yeah.
You should
Ah.
write the system down,
Yeah.
get someone else to do them.
Yeah,
We've
so
got
if you're-
access,
okay.
like internet's give us access to VAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to pay them the same rates we do in Australia. We
Yeah.
can pay them at the rates that they're happy with in their countries.
Yeah.
So it is accessible to all small businesses. It's not something that's exclusive to the rich and
And
famous.
can I say that I said something, I made a video before saying that like I've just hired a VA, not because I can necessarily, I've looked at the budget, I'm like, I might get paid more than me at the start, but you know, I'm like, I need it because if I don't have it, then I can't grow. My only option is with where I am at the moment is to outsource and to go overseas. I don't really see a problem with that. I mean, we're in a global economy, but at the same time, that was a scary investment for me to think about because I've never done that before. But then I thought, if I could get rid of all the admin, even just get rid of my emails, even get rid of my scheduling, I would be like 2 clients up already.
Yep.
Right, which means what's the dollar value there?
Oh yeah, well we've just
Yeah.
gone
We just
through-
work out that
yeah,
we're
the dollar
$34,000
yeah.
a year
Yeah,
each client.
exactly.
Straight away, there's $60,000. That pays for more than your VA.
Is exactly, and it doesn't, and like even if you can afford to, you know, get an assistant or someone in house, that's not the point. But the point is, if you can't actually look at your business from here and think like, and I guess that's maybe what RTMS will help us do.
Yes.
Look like this
Yeah.
does,
and
of
see
course
how
it
it
does.
operates down here. Then we can say, ding, I'm spending 10 hours on emails, see you later.
Oh, yeah.
Ding, I'm doing this, see you later. And then where there's like high level things that we could be doing, we can actually reinvest our time into that. Because how long have you spent doing spreadsheets at the moment?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't even ask me.
That's not a number we've got a number for. It looks like this. It's called infinity.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm actually getting it. So, to me, converting my ideas to actual dollars is quite powerful.
Well,
what does that mean
Your
now?
first goal
Yeah.
is to work out what your last goal is.
Yes.
Okay. Your first
First
goal
goal.
is to work out your exit strategy. The final goal in your
Yes.
business. That's goal number one.
Yes.
The second goal is to work out how to make yourself redundant so that you don't have to do the
Oh,
grunt work.
man.
The third goal is to find people so that you can be redundant, so you can hand the work off to them and keep an eye on what they're doing.
Right.
The fourth goal is to find clients to make that work. Now, most people are going to come into this
Yes.
at that point and then have to go and do the first 3 steps retrospectively.
That's what I was going to say.
That's where
Isn't
most
it like
people are
get
at.
clients first so that you have money to pay for
in
the
an
rest
ideal
of it?
world, plan the system, plan the business, then find the market. In an ideal world. It never happens that way though.
Yeah.
Now, this is the mindset
Learn it
stuff hits
fully.
in right about. The mindset is that, okay, this is going to be complicated, it's going to be hard, I'm not even going to try and do it. But what you've got to think about is you need to take yourself a step back. You need to think of yourself as, I suppose, pulling the strings on the puppet, and the puppet does all the stuff. So you can't actually be doing it yourself. If you're
But it looks
touching
effortless.
it,
How?
if
you
you're
know,
touching it,
that makes me feel a
That's
bit
wrong.
weird to say that.
it is. But you're presenting like in a business.
That's what a
business-
system does to someone
I-
who's
I
working
know.
in that task.
I know,
They're a
but-
puppet, you're pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So, and if you're going to
Right.
adjust the way the
Yeah.
puppet works, you adjust the way the strings are pulled. You don't go in there and do it yourself. And that's the mistake people make. They delegate something, the person does it wrong, then they go, oh, I better go in there and fix it up.
Yeah.
Don't
They jump in
invest
there.
in training.
No, you don't do that. You adjust your systems. You change the way the task is done. You put an extra check in there so it gets checked on properly.
Remember we talked about evolution of the task on the fly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly this. If the task doesn't work, it's not that it's because you're not doing it, it's because you haven't defined the task properly. That's what Paul's
so
talking
powerful.
about.
Yes.
Oh, that's so powerful.
So yeah, so and the easy test for that is if you're doing it, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
If someone else is doing it, you're doing it right.
Yeah. This is like yeah.
Even me.
If you're a manager and you're working, you're not managing.
Exactly.
Now,
I'm like,
you need to understand how it works to do it, so then you can understand
That's
it.
the boring bit, sir.
That's the boring bit.
Yeah.
And then putting it down on paper once you understand it. And you might think you understand it, but you'll do it naturally. But then taking it as to a step-by-step process, there is a transition there.
I'm feeling that right now.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have to write your first assignments for university or stuff like that. You go, how am I going to get this out? By the end of it, you can just whoop them out like no man's business.
Yeah.
It's just because the thinking, the way you think about it, has changed. You look at it from a different point of view. You look at a series of processes and steps and a series of checks and measures.
The formula that makes this work?
And can I ask, realistically, okay, so we're right at the beginning. When do we have the first chat? Artemis? Monday?
Monday.
What's the
2
date?
days ago.
Okay, 2 days. So if we're prime at the beginning of our business together,
Yeah, together, yeah.
what could you guess if we were to actually do this properly, systemize now, figure out an exit strategy plan? Like, do you think that we would be able to grow a lot quicker now and be supported to do that?
Okay. Remember those 21 clients that you can manage in a month?
Yeah, we
So
only
you've got-
thought 10, but
Yeah.
Okay. You can manage about 21, and that will yield you around, well, I don't know what it is, $42,000 a month, $45,000 a month.
Oh my god, if you actually did that, did you get that?
we only had
Remember
planned
that?
for 5.
Remember that? What if you were only doing 20% of the work necessary to maintain those? You can then do it 4 more times, still be doing the same amount of work and outsourcing all of that. Now you're at $200,000 a month. Systems take you because you've got someone else doing the work and you start to manage it. You know how it works, you know why it works, you don't have to actually do the physical work. You can hand it off to someone else because you've got a system that they can follow. You can oversee it rather than being in there pulling the puppet strings yourself.
Now, your biggest hurdle is not actually getting the system in place. It's not actually
dealing
getting the
with
clients.
the fact that you can do it.
It's dealing with the fact that you can do it. It's your mind.
Can you
your
repeat that
headset.
again?
Your biggest problem is not going to be the systems or implementing them. The biggest problem is going to be up here. It is realizing or understanding or accepting the fact that you can do it. There's actually a verse, I think it's a biblical verse actually, whatever the mind can conceive and the heart can believe, a man can do. So yeah, you can conceive it, but your heart has to believe it before you do it.
Yeah.
And then you do
Your
it.
body achieves what your mind believes.
So when you say it, when you believe it, what are we referring to?
If you
Your
believe you're
capacity
capable
to do
of doing it,
or you're
Capable
worthy.
of doing what?
Well, think of
whatever you've decided to do, whatever you've decided your business
honestly,
does.
if you just think about the conversation we had last night to here,
Yeah.
okay, we've gone through this and said our first goal is to get 5 clients.
Yeah,
Right?
because 5
Our
clients,
goal,
what does that mean in dollars? Just to put it in perspective, we got 5 clients, that's a total of $100,000 in the company. So for us, that's like 50 grand each,
but
right?
that's not overheads and
On
this
your
and
numbers,
that.
it's $85,000.
Why is that? Oh,
That's
They're
yeah.
$17,000 each.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And then
But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's my accounting background.
No,
I can't
I was
help it.
like,
You were
oh.
lying.
And then we thought like, oh, our 12-month goal would be like, let's get 10.
Yeah, 'cause
And
then-
then if you just shot out like 21, the first thing I thought was like, 21? How are you going to do 21 clients?
Well, there's 21 working days in a month.
But
Take
what
away the
he-
weekends, there's 21 working days in a month.
And what he just said about you just got to accept it is kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we just have to accept that we could do it.
We could actually, because you know why? Because what we do is actually a necessity and we're really good at it. And are there 21 businesses in Australia, in Brisbane?
In the world?
In the world?
Like I have
Yeah,
one
there are.
London
So
client.
what are we trying to do?
Let's just come back to Australia. There's 1.9 million small businesses in Australia alone.
Dude, 21
you
clients.
don't need more than 21. It's
So
okay.
we need to systemize right now because that just gave me like
We gotta
perspective.
go.
Bye guys.
You've
No,
got
just
goosebumps.
kidding. No,
You've got
because
goosebumps,
you know what?
Kristine.
I'll tell you what the problem is. When you're so engaged in what you do because you love what you do, you don't care about the 21. You only care about the 1. You guys are a client, right? You know when we're with you, we only care about you. When we're their other client, we only care about them.
I bet you say that to all the boys.
No, but it's but it's don't you think that?
Yeah,
Don't
you
you think
do
that?
the- we
And
do
you
the
see,
same.
like, no, but
We
it's
do
true. Like,
exactly the same.
we see you and we go, oh, look at all the possibilities that we could create for them. No, because we can do that. Like,
You
we
get
can do this for
invested
everyone.
in what you're doing at the moment.
And we literally have this handful of clients, and like when I'm in that space of them, all I care about is them. I'm not thinking 21 clients. So for me, it almost feels a bit heartless that I'm like, no, you know what? I did my job for you. I'm going to go for the next one.
There's two things that Paul and I keep coming back to in what we do in our business. Two words: commitment and passion.
Yeah.
So if you're committed to what you're doing and you're passionate about it, the rest will fall into place.
21 clients, baby.
That's like a nice sigh of relief.
If you commit to your systems work and you're passionate about making it succeed,
Yeah.
it will fall into place. This is not stupid. This is not rocket science. This is just go and do it, clean up the mess afterwards.
Yeah.
Let's do it then.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to give you an example about mindset. I had an opportunity in a business to take on a project, and it was actually, I'll give you some figures here. It was a $2.1 million project. The problem with it was the client who won the project, they fell ill and they couldn't actually go through with it. So I was actually coming in and asked to manage the project. The thing is, it had to be done in, I think, 6 weeks, the whole project. And it was actually spread across 16 locations, and it was equipment upgrades, had to ship stuff out and get it installed. Everyone said it's impossible, it's not going to happen. So first thing they had a problem with was they didn't have the capital to buy the plant equipment up front. So it was coming towards the end of the year. I had this brilliant idea. Why don't we ask their client if they'll pay some of it up front so they can buy their capital?
Get the tax deductibility on it right there.
That's right. And anyway, they were a government department. They had to clear their bank account out to get their budget next year. They paid the entire amount by the end of that week. So they had the money.
The 2.1.
2.1.
Cool.
Okay, so that was a mind shift there.
Cool.
Then how to get it done in 6 weeks? Well, their current work crew was like 4 guys, but we worked out that we needed something like, I think, 12 guys to be able to get it done in that time. So we just contacted, he thought they were competitors. We contacted his competitors and said, hey, we'll subcontract this work to you. We'll give you a reasonable amount. Are you willing to do it? He said, you can't do that, it's not going to work. They said, yes, we're happy to have the extra work. You know, it's quite this time of year and just, you know, accounting stuff going on. We had 4 teams of 4 guys set up, and we systematically did the entire thing. It spanned out to about 8 weeks, but they did it, the whole lot, and they were paid up front for it and got it done. But the problem was, from my point of view, I didn't think it was anywhere near possible. Until I bit the bullet, and that fear factor that I had to come up against, I had to step on the other side of it and go, no, I've just got to make the phone calls and ask. As soon as I started to ask, then it all shifted. And then I was on the other side of that fear factor. And that's where the mindset kills most people. They go, I can't do it. They stop before they make the phone call.
Yeah.
And then when you get on the other side of it, it's like, oh, it's working. Amazing how all these things happen really quickly.
You're going to eat a frog.
That's,
Just swallow it fast.
We were meant to, I was only here and we had organised 2 days to catch up. 1 day to meet these guys and then 1 day to just consolidate. And since then we've had, 4 meetings? We've pitched 3 times, just bang, bang, bang. But every time we've never been scared. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, how. But we're like, of course you would. You take it, you talk to them, you see what happens. Then something else happens, then another lead, then another lead. And I mean, I get overwhelmed when I'm by myself. But at the time, we're just like, okay, let's go. Like,
Oh, overwhelm will come. That's part of, like, when you reach those blockers, those mindset blockers, you'll feel as though you can't cope. And sometimes the best thing to do is just to let it happen. You know, if you're going to have a cry or an upset or just go and have it. Let it happen. But happen
Cry
quick.
in the shower.
Yeah, just let it happen quickly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
What
You
is
get on the
it?
other
Fall
side.
fast? Like, fail forward. That's it,
Yeah, far
Fail
forward.
forward.
If you're going to fall forward.
Yeah.
All right. So, if anyone's got any questions about why you should bother sitting down, writing a manual, why you should take time out of your business to train other people, because that's why should you prioritize that? We've discussed that in this video. The amount of money that we could, more money that we could make, the amount of money that we're
triple, it's like quadruple what we even budgeted we would make.
Yeah, and our plan was just to wing it.
That's just you doing it.
That was our plan, was to wing
And
it.
that's just the 2 of you.
That's just you doing it.
That's without outsourcing, exactly. We'll actually cover this again, this particular topic, in next week's webinar, next Wednesday morning, Paul and I. The reason for that is I wrote these notes for this particular meeting. We'll turn those into a webinar so that we can explain this in a little more detail and a little less back and forth. But this is the core of how a business works. How do you increase your productivity? How do you increase your profitability? What does that mean for the end goal in how much your business sells for?
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you're doing it.
So in the workshop, tell me, will you have some structure in there that people will be like, I can apply this, some ideas that they can apply?
Webinar, the workshop.
Oh.
Webinar.
What's in the webinar? and
Not
what's
so
in
much. There's not enough time.
Okay.
There's only half an hour in the webinar to explain what we're talking about.
Okay.
There's 4 hours in the workshop to show people what we're talking about. There's 2 days in the 2-day workshop to help them implement it so that they've got all of this stuff
Into
that they're
their
worrying
system.
about over the line. You guys haven't done the 2-day.
Yep.
You've done an hour and a half and you've gone off to do it yourself.
Yep.
We're expecting you to fall on your face and come back to us. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. And you guys said for the next actual workshop, there's only a limited number of seats.
Well, it's how many seats there are in the room. So
In the boardroom. There's only 6
we've got
spots.
six available spots.
So if you guys want the one, if you're just joining now, like watch the other video, the part 1 to this, because that's where we actually set up our system. So you get a shot of the actual system that they're talking about, what the steps were involved. What's actually going to happen in the workshop is that kind of thing specific to your business. But there's only 6 seats. So I don't know if you guys have a landing page or if you guys have anything. PM one of us. So who can they contact if they want to be one of the 6?
We'll put a link in the comments on this video.
Yep.
And that'll have details that they can sign up on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
perfect.
All right.
And if you don't get it right the first time, it's okay. It's like a starter pancake. You can throw away and go again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And Beck says, great info. Hope to catch the webinar. We'll put the details in the comments.
Very
So
good.
they've been super valuable to us, you guys. Like our business is shifting. We feel it. We know it. And being able to have direct access to these guys has been been gold. So anyone, if you do like the workshop, I promise you now, it's going to be one of the best things because
And we'll finish setting ours up in that workshop.
we're actually going to be there in the workshop. So you're going to see our setup. And it's pretty much what we've been talking about here, and you'll be able to apply that same thing in your business in that moment. So thank you guys for watching.
Thanks so much.
Paul's already onto it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.